Hi, my name is Faith Whithoft, and this will be my SDG number 3. We'll be talking about Sustainable Development Goal number 2, which is zero hunger, and the country I chose was Sweden. So, what is the second Sustainable Development Goal? Well, the objective is to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Some targets of SDG 2 are to provide universal access to food, which is also safe and nutritious, to end malnutrition, and eliminate agricultural trade restrictions. And there's much more as well. So, we'll talk a little bit about SDG 2 in Sweden. And here are some statistics. So, 2.5% of people in Sweden are undernourished, and the death rate per 100 people for malnutrition is zero point 0.5, so less than one person, and I believe that's annually. There's a 2.5% share of the population with severe food insecurity, and 2.1 out of 100,000 either children or mothers, the death rate from malnutrition. And heading over to America, very similar results. Share of people who are undernourished, 2.5%, 2.8%, or 2.8 people per 100,000 for death rate from malnutrition. So that has gone up there. The share of the population with severe food insecurity is lower than that of Sweden at 1%. And unfortunately, the maternal and child death rate from malnutrition is up at 8%, or 8 out of 100,000. Now, for a quick comparison of Sweden versus America, Sweden has a population of around 10 million people, whereas the USA has a population of around 340 million people, which is important to consider when we go over those individual statistics. Not to say that it's easier in a country with 10 million people versus one with 340 million. There are so many other just aspects that will determine how they do with this SDG. But overall, it's important to consider their population here. So, Sweden overall has been making large strides towards the SDGs from the start. And I'm going to skip down to the end here really quick. SDG report for Sweden actually ranks them second out of 167 countries. So, they are doing phenomenally. And Sweden aims to adhere to SDG 2 goals by ending hunger and malnutrition by 2030 as well, and they constantly report their progress. Now, the USA, on the other hand, is still formally committed to the SDGs, but is having trouble fully implementing them for many different reasons. It's a huge country, there's a ton that hampers the implementation, but they're trying. They've been making progress towards tackling malnourishment, but their overall SDG 2 progress is insufficient to meet 2030 goals. But to be fair, as is Sweden's, it's a difficult one to really achieve, but they are trying. Now, how can we use global information technology to support SDG 2? Well, I'm excited to talk to you about one of these. So, first of all, agricultural. By using remote satellite sensing to determine soil quality, crop health, and more, this can promote just a healthier crop yield and support SDG 2. So, Internet of Thing devices that we talked about in a recent presentation could measure emissions, like soil nitrogen levels, and decrease pollution in the process. Both of these things are leading to more yield on the crops, less malnutrition. So, logistics. Smart logistics can measure and ensure that all food is harvested at the most optimal time and the least amount of food possible is wasted. So, if something goes to the supermarket, it goes at the best time. Has the most sold. Those smart logistics are going to be able to help save producers money and get consumers more for the value. And as far as apps go, I'm excited to talk to you about this one because this is one that I'm actually very familiar with. Surplus food applications to support nutrition, especially for the underprivileged. So there is an app called Too Good to Go. And what this app does is that you would download it, and depending on what stores are participating in your area, we do have some here in Boone, North Carolina as well, you can get cheaper prices for a random mystery bag of food, whether that's a sandwich and an apple or 4 whole pizzas, which I have once gotten and did not know what to do with. You can do that. And by doing that, orders don't go to waste. Donuts aren't thrown in the dumpster after Dunkin' Donuts closes for the night. It's a great idea and it saves time and money for a lot of people too. Here are my citations and references. Thank you.